How we doing? Are we back online? That was certainly something. Hey, what's up, y'all? Sorry about that. Literally, just mid-sentence, all the lights in my room just went off suddenly and then immediately went back on. I know that they're doing construction on like a road nearby, so maybe they hit like a power line or something. What can you do? Wow, it really threw off my groove, you know what I mean? What was I saying? Marketing. I mean, that's basic. Maybe it's serendipitous because I have a tendency to ramble on, but that really was everything that I was planning on saying. Um, just that, yeah, I think it's gonna be time. Let me get my music back. Come hither, Castlevania. Um, let's do 1 hour synthwave techno mix. No, 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 no. Yeah, there we go. I always like this one too. Yeah, I mean, this is the idea. Let me lower this down. And, fuck, I really lost my train. There was something that I was excited to say, and I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, that's the basic idea. I think it's time to market. I, I don't know. We'll see what happens once we do that. And I really think that there's a lot of potential, and I hope that this ends up. Oh, I think I was saying it's like the whatever product led growth, right? If you have something that people are already enjoying and you haven't done any marketing, then probably that's a good idea. That's the whole bit. But fuck, you know what sucks? Now I'm gonna have to. Well, what I was gonna do after that's what I was thinking of. I was gonna go back through chat and see how you'd all responded. Can I still do that? Does anyone know? If I go Twitch, let's go. I'm gonna pause myself here. Pause. And then I'm gonna go to. Maybe I should do this. I don't know if there's gonna be any sensitive information. Video producer. No, I just want the VOD, right? Oh my god, Orcs Must Die. I actually really like this game. I played the first one. Right? Shush. Pause. Oh, I'm now seeing that my chat background is all fucked up too. Sick. I can fix that while we're here. Let me go to the VOD and read your guys' responses. I do believe I'll be able to do that. God, I spend such little time on Twitch, I feel like that I don't know how to navigate it. Where do I have to click this? Yeah, here we go. Videos. 3 minutes ago. Recent broadcasts. Ooh, this is another jam. Alright, here we go. Chat. If I skip ahead, it's got like a chat replay, right? Oh no, because it's just going to be chat that's live. Man, this is annoying. Alright, does anyone know if there's any way that I can go back? I mean, I can always do this on my own time, but I wanted to discuss this with you guys. I thought it would be fun. Is there a way for me to go back and look at the chat recap on a video that maybe on YouTube it'll let me do this? Perhaps? YouTube Studio. Let's see. I'll go over here for this too. Content. Live. You. Watch the link. Pause. Turn off the audio. And then is there like chat replay? Doesn't look like it. Live? No, it's just other videos. Maybe it takes time for it to like archive. Well, I guess it's literally baked in here. Click on my channel. Is it YouTube or Twitch that we're talking about? There's not a lot of space. Oh, here's where my math is bad. I've received 100 messages today with a restream chat. Okay, this kind of works. So I got videos while I started playing. That's cool. The other thing that really helps for me is the graphics options. Not everyone who loves Skyrim has an up-to-date gaming PC. Totally. That is a really good... I guess I would call that, like, if you had to file it under one of the three thingies, it would be, like, installation. But it's kind of its own thing. That was another very important bit for us. Yes, I do know the YouTuber. See, I wanted to be able to do this. This'll do. You guys can watch it with me. It's really weird watching myself in the corner, though. I do know Seth. I watch pretty much all of Seth's videos. It makes you think a lot about a good way to sell games. Yes, I mean, it's really not easy. Obviously, every person on the planet only has so much time for entertainment, and you are competing with every other form of entertainment for those kind of those eyes that buy in. Wow, does it only come in as the same color if it's restream like Twitch? Is it always like that? Oh, whatever, I'll fix that on my own time. I don't think so. Restream is there? I mean, it's cool most of the time, I guess, but it certainly has some quirks. I don't know if it's really the only bit out there. I don't like that I can't have an activity feed that is, what's it called? That's, not joined between YouTube and, Twitch. Also, my stream elements, everything's all fucky post computer crash here. Sorry about this, guys. I really don't. Of course, this happens when I'm streaming. It never happens at any other point. There we go. There's my activity feed. Praxis, thank you for 14 months. See, I would have missed that. Recommend on Reddit when people are looking for something new. Much appreciated. So yeah, I mean, we'll move on from this. The last thing that I really wanted to show you guys was the kind of how the roadmap is going to look. I've been working on that, and I think it's kind of exciting. And then we'll dive into some mod suggestions, shall we? Or, of course, if you guys have any thoughts on anything I've said, I'm happy to hear them. Any ideas, etc. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Ever thought about collating with ESO? I have not. That's always kind of a weird prospect to me because I don't really know how interested we'll say the official Elder Scrolls sphere would be in our project or in the mod lists. It seems to me like the kind of thing that would be weird to start having official collaborations with, because at the end of the day, modders are, well, it really depends. It depends on what they're at. It's something I would be amenable to, we'll say, but I think that I would, you know, kind of have to approach, or sorry, that I would not feel super comfortable approaching them. Let's see. Okay, so I think here all the other messages I'm looking for are actually further back. I already went to that spot. I just saw that you need to fuel your descent into alcoholism faster. That's interesting. Was it before this? Whoa. Yeah, I guess we're getting some answers. I mean, it doesn't really matter one way or the other. It's just useful for my own data. Simplicity is key. Customization options. Yeah, that's true. Leveling to scale a UI positioning. It's like, that's the kind of stuff. I wish there was like a unified framework for things like that. Maybe that's part of, maybe I'll build one myself since I'm learning the reverse engineering and all that other stuff. But easier said than done, right? ESO the ESO the YouTuber I'm not familiar with. To be honest, I'm kind of pretty bad at I really should. Maybe this will be part of our marketing push. Of course, it would be like reaching out to people who might be interested in kind of partnering or collaborating or whatever you want to call it. I should reach out to some of those people, but I'm pretty unplugged. I don't watch a lot of content these days. I mostly just kind of work, and if I watch content, it's like, I don't know, like I'll really all I watch is like when I'm on break or I'm eating lunch or something. I'll watch like a YouTube video. I watch a lot of speed runs, and then I also watch different episodes of anime that I'm watching. Yeah, I would actually be unironically likely to watch an 8-hour Linkus vid. Just things that you can kind of throw on in the background. I like a lot. Skyrim guide. Some of you guys are OGs. That is crazy to me. Yada yada yada. Lizzie is working on skooma dealers, of course. This is an interesting take. What I like is no support for customization. We don't get that a whole lot. The reasoning that Giblets provides here is exactly why we've done that, although we definitely are going to open up. There's advantages to having like an unofficial customization pipeline. The biggest one would be that people will create patches that we can utilize in the official build, right? This is not my jam. I remember this one from last time. Relaxing. I don't want relaxing. I want pump up. There we go. That's close enough. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, I think we've mostly caught up. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the roadmap, and then let's dive into some mod suggestions. Does everything that I said make sense? Hopefully, if there's anything that was unclear, I'm happy to clarify. I know that I can rabbit hole myself when it comes to talking about this kind of stuff, so let me know, and hopefully it was. Fudge Moment is pretty firmly in the Enei sphere. I don't think they're too fond of Requiem. Ah. Well, I'll say what's up, Monica. I think that a lot of people have kind of preconceived notions about Requiem. I think that if you gave someone that, for content creators, I think it all comes down to giving them something that they can make interesting content with, right? I think if a content creator feels like there's a new game or a new mod list or whatever it is that they can make something interesting with, I think that they're inclined to do it. Even if someone has historically, let's say that Fudge Muppet I am aware of, if Fudge Muppet has historically made content on, let's say, Enei Rim, I don't think that necessarily means they wouldn't make content on like Requiem or on Wildlander if it struck them, if it kind of was inspiring to them, or if they think it would do well. I think that's kind of, your core component. So I think this is where, just the popularity aspect, Enei mods, yes, are much more popular. This is actually exactly what I was going to say. This is where things can kind of snowball. This is your critical mass or your event horizon. If you start to get enough people playing, get enough people talking about it, you grow enough of a user base, you become popular enough to where someone wants to make these videos, you're much more likely to continue getting content creators making videos about your stuff. The kind of exception to this is every once in a while there will be a content creator who themselves has enough pull and is themselves already interested in the project. Sometimes that will happen. This is what you see with, using Seth as an example. Seth will come along and, highlight a game that most of the audience has never even heard of. He really likes the game. He can effectively and humorously communicate what he likes about the game. And that can inadvertently, serve as like a very large spike in at least awareness, not always players, because sometimes, I would say that a lot of like the games he plays, for example, are pretty obscure. They're very mechanically complex. They have a slightly narrower audience at the outset, but I'm sure that they got more players there were players that would not have played or did not know about it until they watched the video. Requiem is a bit of a slow starting game, though. So that is true, but this is where the road, and this is a good segue actually into the roadmap. This is where I have a pretty different vision for the Wildlander experience than what Requiem intends, right? I think there is this tendency, especially among people who are familiar with Requiem, who are familiar with the modding scene, who kind of know what's out there. There's this tendency to assume that kind of it's like, oh, Requiem is the base and everything's built around Requiem, and that is true in a sense, but also I'm at the point where there are many things that I want to do that Requiem purists, I think, would not be interested in. One such thing is in the planned character creation overhaul. I thought it would be cool to let players kind of manually choose how advanced, we'll say, their character is out the gate. this serves as part difficulty scaling, right? It's also on this down so I'm not peaking the audio. It's part difficulty scaling. It's part letting kind of, you know, what I mean by that is letting players determine their own difficulty. So like, let's say you can start as a character who is not, you know, the typical Requiem kind of like peasant, right? So you can, it's going to be some function of choosing your general acumen, also your character's age, right? Maybe it's an older character who has more experience. We're going to be using dealing with backstories, right, as a concept for this, where it's really cool stuff. Like you can add like vices to your characters that you're more likely to have developed if your character's older, and all kinds of stuff like that. This is what I mean, where it's like for me, Requiem is this incredible baseline for what you might call like the fundamental, like the baseline balance of the game. It descales everything. It creates kind of dedicated, how do I put it? What's a good word for this? It differentiates each of the enemies. It kind of places them where they are going to generally be in the power curve. And so for me, Requiem is the scaling and general balance, the biggest contributor to that, right? But yes, that, as Finn said there, it is a baseline from which to start. And whereas back in the Ultimate Skyrim days, I think I was a lot more reticent to branch out from what Requiem was doing. It's obviously been many years since then. I've had a lot more time with the experience. What I personally want to do with this experience is a little bit different. And now I really don't balk at all at... It's like, for example, right now in the Wildlander character creation, you get 6 perks right off the bat, which is obviously very different from Requiem. It's double the amount of perks that you get in Requiem. You don't have to get like the smithing books to get the smithing perks, and that's all getting like an overhaul as well. But I guess summarily, I don't have any issue with changing stuff to be more in line with the experience that I'm trying to provide. And all of that, hopefully, is a good segue into kind of exploring the roadmap here. The roadmap is going to be... The reason that I want to put it together at all is because we often get questions... Well, okay, one, we often get questions about specific components of the game. Let's use Vampirism as an example. It's actually why I put this here. Vampirism is obviously a large like experience, we'll say, in Skyrim, in Requiem, in Wildlander. And there's so many different mods that are, what's it called? There's so many different mods that touch on Vampirism in some way or have all these ideas. So it leaves, I think, a user going, I wonder, what is the state of Vampirism right now? And 2, what, if anything, do they plan on doing with Vampirism, right? So you can kind of go and find that out by looking at the roadmap. The other kind of useful bit here is that in having all of this stuff listed, how do I put it? I mean, I guess it's basically the same point as number 1. It's just that we don't... you have like people know kind of what's up, right? Like people know what the plan is because they can read it directly from the mouths of the people who are working on it. They'll get a sense of how, like, even someone who we'll say is who knows about Requiem, who knows about the modding scene, they will be able to see immediately how it's different and what it's doing its own way, right? Yeah, cute theory. Dylan expects our users to read. It's more like I don't expect them to read. I think it's kind of like the people who were interested in reading will, and the people who weren't will not. But then it saves us time because we do not have to answer the questions, right? Either someone has a question, we can hit them with a Discord command that says the information you want is here, or someone else in the community will reply. The community at large will have this kind of collective knowledge based. This is just factual, right? Like if you have these resources, some members of the community will read them, and that level of kind of community shared knowledge based on a verifiable source of truth will naturally grow. It can't not. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll admit I originally popped in here to ask a question about undeath and its absence. And see, this is and you're not alone. It's a natural. Why wouldn't you? Especially if you're enjoying the project. This is something you see the most, is that like I find the people who often have these questions are people who either are really interested in playing or could be interested in playing, or they are already playing and they're already hopefully enjoying themselves and they're wondering, hey, what's the plan for this thing? There's something else I was gonna say. What about like vampirism? Whatever. I mean, that basically covers it. So yeah, this idea of like, I feel like when it's almost like there's a reason actually too that I don't use like Requiem in like the marketing copy anymore, is because I think that a lot of the time people have this. It's the same thing people I think do with like survival mods, right? Or like survival gameplay, or it's like they hear survival, they hear Requiem, they have all of these preconceived notions as to what that means, how that plays, what sort of experience that will make. They haven't played it in Wildlander. They haven't played this particular arrangement, this presentation of these ideas. They haven't seen the ways in which maybe what they're expecting is actually, that's not how it is. It's different because we've changed it. We've done something else instead. This is not to say that they would enjoy those things, that they would, even whatever Wildlander's implementation is, it's not to say that they would play it and if they don't like those things historically, that they'll like this now. Just to say that you are working against what people kind of already believe. And frankly, if someone already believes they understand, what it is, what experience is being offered, they're unlikely to try. Even if they would play it and be like, oh wow, this was not what I expected, you cannot reasonably assume that people are going to do that. Like, again, we all have only so much time. We all do this in one way, shape, or form or another. I really try as hard as I can to not assume that I know kind of how something's going to be when I really have reason to think that I might not know. But sometimes we don't know what we don't know a lot of the time. Like, we have no idea. Like, unless you have like let's say maybe a roadmap, a development manifesto that can explain to you, hey, if you think it's going to be like this, here's some information that might at least encourage you to reconsider that you know how this is going to feel or how it's going to play or whatever. Which is why I do that. It's a very tricky line because at the same time, like every mod in the build, you also need to ensure that people to a degree understand where this stuff is coming from. But my version of that, what I kind of plan to do is, instead of like, and I'm planning to do this in the website copy, I plan to do it on the wiki copy, instead of being like, this is the anniversary edition content, or like this is CC like this, and like when this was added, like this is how we did it. It's more my kind of like style of doing stuff is just kind of presenting it like it's just part of the experience, and then in the index and the glossary kind of having that information and being like, or even something like at the top it's like the list of, or the mods like referenced, or what's the word, kind of involved in this mechanic, right? Because yes, it's exactly this: avoiding bits of lexicon that trigger various assumptions and put people in specific ruts of thinking. That is an incredibly succinct way of explaining what I'm trying to explain. For me, it's all about imagining. It's all user experience. You imagine the mindset of the potential user or whatever, and try to think about what's going to best serve, what's best going to produce the experience that you are intending, like for the users, right? And of course, how do you ensure the best experience? The answer to that question changes depending on what persona of user you're speaking of. But for me, the two primary targets are, one, people who maybe have some modding experience and know about these kinds of things, who I still think might enjoy it, but we have those kind of, we'll say, preconceived notion landmines to avoid. And two, and really this is more of my focus, because this is the group for whom all that stuff I just described actually is not as much of an obstacle, and also the group that is much larger. The second group is just people who have never even modded before, right? Like people who, they're there for the experience, and they don't know necessarily how to mod, they don't know which mod's doing what. That information will be there, but it's not going to be, luckily for both of these groups, the way that I think you kind of present the copy most effectively aligns, so you don't kind of have to worry about creating two separate versions, we'll say. But yeah, so it's like Wildlander already has too many proprietary features to be considered just a list of mods, but that's still what users are going to expect going in. That is absolutely true, and it's actually even why it's why I've historically pushed so hard to kind of have people enter the ecosystem through a very specific direction. Even when you have let's use a list of like, let's say, okay, for people who hear about Wabbajack first, right? They go on Wabbajack, you see all of these different mod lists, right? Who have various kind of targets for the experience. They have various levels of, we'll say, integration between the mods. Some of them are very heavy on that kind of thing. Other ones are really just like, okay, you guys are modders, you know kind of what to expect. Here's a list of mods that kind of fit a certain theme that we think are really cool, that have been worked on to work well together, and then the rest of the kind of integration is not what we, both as the creator and the user, care about as much. So, like, go nuts that way. That is awesome. It is also very different from what Wildlander is. Wildlander kind of intends to be, it has proprietary features. It's this kind of much more like attempted to be, it's, you guys, if you've played it, you probably have a sense of this. It's really supposed to be this like massively cohesive, above all experience that feels like you can't tell where the mods start and end, right? Like where the base game, where there's, at least ideally, nothing palpably that different between what is a mod feature, what is a Wildlander feature, what is a base game feature. That's kind of the goal. It kind of presents itself as this massive cohesive experience, and I think that's pretty unique as far as like the mod lists go. It's been a while since I've gotten to play any of my fellow mod list creators like works and whatever, and they're always, I would say that there are many areas in which Wildlander is not as contemporary, does not have some of like the best practices when it comes to certain spheres of modding, right? Like I learned so much from everyone, all of our modding peers, all of our mod list peers. We're always helping each other, and it's just the best thing in the world, I think. It's kind of the ideal scenario, this like open source modding practically. And of course, modding has always been built in this kind of community effort. The experience that I feel like we try to provide here is pretty different from how I understand a lot of the mod lists to be. And so all of this just ties back to this idea that like psychologically, when you see, let's just say a list of mod packs, right? You kind of assume that they are all going to be roughly similar to each other. And that even is like a preconceived notion to kind of have to work around. Again, I think Wildlander, for better or for worse, a lot of people would consider it less interesting than many of the other mod packs out there because of what it chooses to include, what it chooses not to. There's like a good example of that is there's tons of people for whom like quest content and like new things are something they are immensely interested in. And for them, Wildlander, at least in its current iteration, but probably just Wildlander's focus is really never going to be as heavily that as some of the other like lists. Wildlander would be completely uninteresting to them, right? The stuff that Wildlander cares about is not what they care about at all. I just think that you're working against that when you see stuff next to each other things, it's the natural inclination to think, or like I see people on like the Wabbajack, Discord who will be like, oh, I'm looking for like a new mod list, and people are comparing. It's like, oh, you can try this one or that one or that one, and that is you sometimes, a point of comparison can be very useful for helping you figure out what you might be into. But I just think that sometimes what makes the project unique is you kind of like have to, it's almost I don't know, like being listed kind of alongside similar-ish experiences but that are also very different can often be like a detriment, I think, to at least the marketing component. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, the back to the roadmap, which really is supposed to be kind of the not a cure for this sort of problem. And of course, these kinds of problems exist not just in mod lists, but like in games and entertainment in general, right? When we compare stuff, it's not a problem with mod packs. It's a, even problem is too strong a word, but it is a difficulty inherent, I think, to comparison, where the second you're comparing two things, if you are somebody who understands both things extremely well, this is less of an issue. If you are someone who has maybe not interacted with both things, maybe let's just say it's a movie, right? Two movies, and someone who's seen both movies is kind of trying to illustrate this comparison between them. The fact that they are being compared at all to, in the mind of someone who has not seen either movie, we'll say, or let's say has seen one but hasn't seen the other one, all just immediately there are all these preconceived notions kind of building in that person's head. What does it mean? Because we're all different, right? We all kind of evaluate everything through our individual lens. For the person who's, let's say, witnessing this conversation on Reddit, movie A and movie B, this person's comparing movie A and movie B. Again, the fact that that comparison is even happening, maybe this person who hasn't seen the movies is going to now associate them and think that they're similar in ways that they actually aren't. Maybe they'll kind of think that this movie's not going to have what I think, I'd be interested in because I didn't like movie A. Movie B seemed interesting to me, but if it's in the same ballpark as movie A, then like, nah, that's not really something I'm interested in, and so I'm going to skip it, right? That you can do that, and this is all of our attempts to evaluate the ways to spend our time as critically as we can, because we don't have infinite time. It's just naturally perhaps going to be the case. But man, can you miss out on some stuff if you kind of assume that you know what's up with anything, really. Like, you never really know what something is going to be until you experience it yourself. Which is not to say that you can't, no one has the time to just experience all the different things that they're interested in. But I do try very, very hard to not do that myself. And also, of course, just when you create anything, it makes you intensely aware that this is just a reality of life. This is going to happen. You can't prevent it. You could argue that you can't spend too much time trying to prevent it, because eventually it's diminishing returns. I do think it's worth spending some time trying to, at least if someone manages to interact with the resources that you put forward that describe your thingy, hopefully it is, at least to some degree, to a reasonable effort, geared towards kind of bypassing or dismantling or kind of superseding whatever preconceived notions a person might have, right? There's a segue into the little remaining bit about the roadmap. The roadmap is part, hey, now I know what to expect roughly, with the next updates or whatever, right? So that's part one. Part two is, it's a development manifesto. Beneath this, so it's going to be upcoming release, right? And then it's going to go down, there's going to be like a chunk down here that is like future releases. And then instead of kind of talking about what's going to be in a specific release, There is going to be sections. I'm not quite sure how to organize it in terms of color. I'm not sure if I'm going to be having them match the the colors that we use for the labels on the Trello board. I'm still figuring out that part. I'm thinking maybe I'll divide each kind of section with these things, call it like gameplay or like controls. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to organize it yet. Still figuring that out. This I just wanted to kind of get the basic like functionality down. In fact, actually here, let's do this. So I can show it off to you guys. So you can see it's not just a mock-up. It actually does work. These are two different types that I've been messing with. The development manifesto exists so that people can understand what the project is and what it is going to be or trying to be. It's something that I think helps. Again, if someone's not willing to read it, what can you do? If they're not willing to ask in the community about it, nothing you can do. But for the people who are, maybe they'll see something here and go, oh, okay, they're looking at this a little bit differently than I would have assumed. This is, or like even, man, let's say that you're just another hypothetical persona here. You're someone who's played Requiem before. You don't really like Requiem. You know it pretty well enough to know that you don't like it. You've played other Requiem lists even, we'll say, and kind of know how Requiem feels, and you're just not into it. And you read something here that says, okay, that's actually pretty different from how I understand Requiem to be. That's a little bit surprising. I assumed that most lists, because most lists that have Requiem in it, like Requiem pretty much as is, and I understand that because Requiem's fucking rad. And like, there's a lot of like 3 tweaks and B tweaks and those kind of edits on top that to me are brilliant. They have so much more of an understanding of, I think, what the Requiem players are looking for, and they've not compared to anybody in particular, but just in general, like that kind of what the players come to play. And they really do a fantastic job of like taking what that is and like running with it, right? So like you have like the Potions of Insight system, which is brilliant. If you don't know what that is, I'm not gonna go too into it. But just rest assured that for the players who are like diehard Requiem players, there's so much stuff for them there. That is not, despite how I think that is brilliantly designed system, it's not something that would really work for Wildlander, because Wildlander's kind of trying to be a different thing. It's like this life sim. I specifically don't want you to have to like only level up by killing things and doing combat related things. I also specifically don't want there to be only combat related skills. I want a lot of life skills. I want a lot of like immersive stuff. There's a huge focus on the dynamic kind of like world, right? So we're just going to be moving more and more towards not unscaling, but like making the world even less static, making the world even more organic. Stuff like organic factions, or like what is the creator of I can't remember, not Skyrim at War. There's like a big faction mod. Our own team, we're working on like faction related things where the factions can actually kind of like have a little bit of AI, have their own, we have a lot of dynamic stuff going on in the world as it is, but I think a lot of it lacks what you might call like an actor behind it. I don't mean like actor like Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean actor as in like an AI that is like making decisions dynamically based on what's happening like in the world around them. So we're only going to be moving closer to stuff like that. This is obviously very different. So going back to the example, I think if someone who knows Requiem, knows it's not for them, sees something like that in a development manifesto, says, oh, okay, this is what they want to do. And, hopefully we've also written it succinctly and clearly so that you can understand exactly what it is we're going for here. We're not going to waste your time with like over flowery prose and whatever. All of that stuff adds up. I think it really helps to differentiate your project in ways that are just tough. And again, it's not anyone's fault. It's not the fault of the people. It's not Wildlander's fault. It's not the fault of the people who make the lists. Oftentimes the people who make the lists will be the first people to be like, well, just to be clear here, like these experiences are very different, because they know it really well, right? But to the average person who's just kind of waltzing in and trying to see if it's for them, that stuff is a lot more obscured. So all of it is just geared towards helping people understand more quickly what the goals are, what the thing is, what it is, what it isn't, and whether or not they'd be interested. There's like I was actually just talking about this with both. This is kind of coincidental. This is that Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, right? Where you talk about something, you see something, obscure, and then suddenly it's popping up everywhere. But there's this. You guys know Marie Kondo? She's wonderful. She's the creator of the. I can't remember the name. Oh, the Oh my gosh, what is the name of her book? And it's like a whole ass brand now. It's I'll just look it up. So by the time I do, say Marie Kondo book. KonMari method. That's like her. The life-changing magic of tidying up. I guess this. That doesn't sound like what I was thinking of. Yeah, the Spark Joy lady. So Liz, my wife, not Lizzie, our team member. One time we were lucky enough to attend a talk by a lady who we like very, very much, and the talk was on kind of entrepreneurship and marketing, right? And I believe the specific topic title was how to craft the perfect pitch, right? So this applies to, I don't care if you're pitching your business to like a VC, you're pitching a new idea to your bosses or whatever, you're pitching a new product to your company, or whatever it is. Yo, Jay Serpa's in the chat. Where you at? What is up, Jay Serpa? All the mods I have installed Spark Joy. Oh, you can totally apply this to mods too. How many times do you end up culling? Actually, here's a good quote that's by the man who wrote The Little Prince. This one I just saw the other day because my contrast checker always has little quotes. It says, "Perfection is not when you can't add any more, but when there's nothing more to take away," right? So I feel like a lot of mod pack authors and modders, we will like, all of us do this, where we're like, oh my god, look at all this crazy stuff. This sounds cool and that sounds cool, and you grab all these things, and then when you actually go to use it, you're like, oh, actually these two things don't go super well together, or this kind of thing does this in a way that is a little different than perhaps what would fit with the rest of these, or even just something that's like, oh, I thought that I would kind of be into how this does it, but my style is more like this. So you add a bunch of stuff and then you slowly pare away. I feel like this is a very commonly experienced part of the process. Also, I'm going to stand up because my back's hurt. But anyway, Marie Kondo I heard about this thing that she said in this talk because the professor was putting it on. She thought it was brilliant, and I think it's brilliant too. Marie Kondo's philosophy on like marketing was that you should have for lack of a better term, like a pointed statement that is self-sorting. Something that just from the moment someone hears it, they will know whether the product or service or whatever it is for them or isn't for them, right? So Marie Kondo's version of this, actually, hold on. Need my little standing pat. Marie Kondo's version of this is exactly what you guys were just saying. There's like the items in your life should spark joy, right? This is the fundamental idea behind the KonMari method. And for those of you guys who don't know who Marie Kondo is, it's like kind of like, I don't know if I'd say lifestyle guru. There's all these connotations there too, but really just someone who has kind of mainstreamed the philosophy of like not minimalism necessarily, but basically just like getting rid of junk in your life that you don't need. You can apply this to objects, you can apply this to even like ways that we do things, kind of exploring how we oftentimes will get sort of trapped in our ways of doing things and not really stop to consider how maybe the ways that we do things don't necessarily serve our goals anymore. And less abstractly, it's a helpful strategy for like spring cleaning, right? For going through your stuff, if you should ask yourself, this is her whole idea, is that with every object you pick up that you have lying around your house, You go, does this object spark joy or not? And if it doesn't, then you don't need it, right? So this is her pointed statement. The objects in your life should spark joy. Just from that alone, you will know whether her stuff is for you or not, right? If you hear that and you're like, I really don't agree with that, that's not how I kind of choose to do things, you don't waste any more time. And she doesn't waste any more time trying to, capture your business or whatever it is. It's that simple, right? Like, both of you, it's this mutually beneficial situation where the potential buyer, does not have to spend any more time figuring shit out. And the seller doesn't have to spend any time, just kind of on someone who is never going to buy their stuff to begin with, right? And what was the original point? Oh yeah. So just the idea. So like, if you have this stuff, right? You have these resources that... So Liam, out of curiosity, how does this relate to the roadmap? Good question. That's what I'm getting back into. Thanks for keeping me honest. When you have your statements, right? Like, let's just, again, use vampirism as an example. It's a weird one. But when you have your development manifesto, and again, it's not an epic tome. It's something that people... Yo, thank you for 17 months, Bambi. It's something that people can get through reasonably. It doesn't overstay its welcome, to the point where you can, people will want to read it. When you have stuff that says, hey, this is what we want to do, this is the kind of experience that we make, the more pointed, the more succinct, the more kind of, what's the word? Those work, but they're not perfect. The more, I guess, salient, like, and closer to just what it is that you do uniquely, right? The closer you can get it to your unique value proposition, the better. Because people they'll know right off the bat, is this for me? Yes or no? And then that's it. There you go. Oh, forget the suggestions. I mean, I'll still do them right now, but this is really, I came here today to talk about this stuff. The suggestions are secondary to me. They are fun. Also, it's only 1:46, so we got some time. Betting 7 max? All right. Bet against me. I'm going to exceed it. That's my goal. But yeah, so that's the whole idea. Roadmap gives you plenty of opportunities to understand what that unique value proposition is. And with that, you will be able to decide whether or not it's something you're interested in, which saves our time, because again, we don't have to explain it. We don't have to discuss or which is not to say, like, the discussions are great, ideas are great. We need those, and that's why we encourage them. But you having the same discussion over and over again, answering the same questions over and over again, is not, I think, an efficient use of time. And hopefully we get to demonstrate our unique value add, our unique philosophy, hopefully unique philosophy on doing things. And also we save time, and we save the users time by presenting our value proposition to them clearly and succinctly, and they can figure out if it's for them at a glance. And that's the whole thing. We did it, everybody. That's everything I can think of. Oh, and I was going to show you that it actually works. Or hopefully it does. Roadmap. If you click... Oh, this one doesn't. That one's broken. That's my new one. This one does, but I'm actually going to be using different code for this because I don't like the way that this is... it covers up what's beneath it, right? And this one will slide. Well, so it kind of works, but, we'll fix it. This is kind of how it's going to look. Just imagine like a bunch of these and just cascaded downwards that have all the information you could ever want on what's going to be what, right? And probably I'm going to like link to, it's going to be closely intertwined, with the Trello board, because these are kind of like the wrappers of the concepts. And we can go, here's what we're going to do. Here's also some mods that we're likely going to be implementing, yada yada. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Yes, Wildlander's just gonna move more and more towards being a life sim instead of a killathon. Specifically not a killathon. Specifically adding sentience into this otherwise, like, I don't know, like pretty kill fest murder hobo style game, right? And like Requiem at its core is that it's the role-playing overhaul. I think people say, oh, Requiem shouldn't call itself the role-playing overhaul. I disagree with that. I think that it's very much still the role-playing overhaul, but I think it's the role-playing overhaul really in the sense that it's still the combat role-playing overhaul, right? They mean that you can role-play different kinds of characters with different kinds of combat skills, mostly. There's some like kind of life skilly stuff in there by default, but I think on the whole, that's what it's intended for. And you'll find that like the Requiem players, the diehard Requiem players, that's what they're interested in. They're interested. For them, it's very analogous, I'd say, to like the Souls games. The Souls games are RPGs, but they're combat RPGs, and so the role playing, if there is role playing in those games, it comes more from like theorizing your combat build, kind of the theming of your character. What are they going to look like? What are their attacks going to kind of be like? That's the kind of role-playing concept you come up with. And then it's all about, it's a combat RPG sandbox where you have all of the tools to kind of test these builds and feel them out and whatever. That's a different type of role-playing game than, of course, like a CRPG or a life sim or something like The Sims, right? Where the role-playing here is like the dynamic interactions between AI. It's having a world that kind of feels real and responds to the stuff you do in it. It's having characters with like unique human reactions to things, right? Yeah, that's not, making Skyrim another world to truly exist and live in, which is why that's what the copy says right now, actually. I updated this a little bit. You go to the home page. Just various website tweaks and things that I've been doing lately, but yada yada yada. Oh, I updated the what's it called? If you haven't looked at the testimonials in a while, some of you may be in there. You never know, because I added a bunch more. And all right, 151. Oh my god, not Seagrams. What is the alcohol? The rum? Brand? Who cares? But this is, all right, this is when we're starting. Mods, what am I doing? Trello. Bacardi, duh. Thanks, Finn. For how much? Well, I don't really drink that much. Oh, it is not Jack Daniels, unfortunately. I like Jack Daniels a bit more than I like Bacardi things. It's Todd's own selling point to live another life. I mean, it often is. In like the Bethesda RPGs. Hold on, crack my back. Ow. And they're not horrible at it. You would almost kind of say that, hey, it's because Skyrim's such a brutal place, right? And it's combat's a lot of what you do, but really, they make combat RPGs. It's not really about living in it's still technically living another life, as long as what the life you want to live is that stuff. It doesn't exist anymore. That's probably better for the longevity of humans, our collective health. All right, y'all, you ready? 152. Let's see how many. What were the bets? We got money on over 10. We got 7 max. We got 8. 12. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Giblets. Let's see. Ah, Hoth. I know this character. I've seen this person before. Yeah, this is by Hoth Trooper. You can tell by the distinctive style. Ember's XD. I almost said HD. That's what it used to be. What is my whiskey of choice? Oh, I mean, is money no option? Or is that what they say? Is money no concern? If that's the case, I mean, I'm particularly partial to Japanese whiskey just because I'm a weeb. So I love like probably the best, like kind of not too cheap but not too expensive either. Money's no object. That's what it is. Would be like the Tokai, the Suntory. I like a lot of American whiskeys as well. I'm a big McClellan fan. That's like a little bit more expensive. Obviously, you can go older and older and older. I like a good rye, but also sometimes it's a bit much. It's spicy. I just prefer spicy and just, we'll say like the rye dryness to like some bourbon. I've been more bourbon-y lately, like later in my life. I just don't like things that are too sweet. I don't like a super bourbon-y bourbon. You might say. Actually, my wife has been really into whiskey lately. I've been surprised. She was not typically a whiskey drinker before. Visually customize. Let's see here. Okay, let's watch this. Of course, as always, the primary consideration for follower mods is like voice acting. House. Now I gotta, here, let's up the volume here.
I can smell a tavern 3 miles out. Some people think that's odd. I think it's a talent.
Hey everyone, Hoth Trooper 44 here, and today I want to talk about my self-titled companion mod, Hoth. Hoth as a mod comes from pretty humble beginnings. I originally made his armor for myself and uploaded a general description of my new character and some screenshots of him to the Nexus. I was surprised by the overwhelming response that my rough bounty hunter character received.
That's dope, Liam.
People didn't just like him, they wanted him to join them in their own game.
Honey whiskey
and so
is
I began creating this mod.
Generally not for me.
So what makes Hoth a companion worth traveling with?
I get it.
Hoth is first and foremost a bounty hunter.
Sickly sweet.
And as you might expect with a bounty hunter, he's always working on a contract. Almost visually scars and scratches. I'll let you hear from Hoth for the remainder of this video. But if you like my work, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well.
What a legend.
Again, I'm Hoth Trooper 44, and thanks for watching.
Well, what do you want?
That's pretty good.
I'm from a small village up north. Not much of a story there, really.
Huh.
I've killed just about everything that's walked or crawled or flown at one time or another. My armor, huh? Alright, what do you want to know? This old cloak, it used to belong to a bear. Long time ago, way up north, there was this village. Anyway, this bear was something terrible. Already had a body count of around 25. Could burst through a wall with little effort. Then the town hired me. I tracked this bear for weeks, stalked him down. It's a pretty good fight too. And now he keeps me warm all winter long.
So the voice acting I'm actually quite impressed by. I can hear like some microphone popping and there's like some mix issues, I would say. But you know, maybe nothing too insane. And sometimes people kind of like remaster that stuff. The fact that the voice acting is pretty decent out the gate is, to me, the strongest indicator. Peace out, Praxis. Hope you feel better. Or the strongest like point in favor of inclusion, right? Oh yeah, here you go. Let's see. So I'm gonna add. We'll go labels, follower, new followers, and new writing dialogue VA. Say, this is weird. Say needs further assessment. The baseline as with all other followers, but the voice acting quality seems very solid. I have some concerns about the mix and the various microphone. I did hear that, Lizzie. That's pretty cool. Various microphone sounds, but it might not be widespread. Has some unique mechanics, like apparently he can give you radiant bounty questions, which is dope. There you go. All right, one. You guys gotta count it for. I need like an on-screen counter, right? When I do this. 3D pine forest debris. Whoops. Is there a different version of this, perhaps? I can Google it. 3D pine forest debris. Skyrim SC mod. That's the deleted one. Oh, not going there. Well. I wish I could see it, or I don't know what the deal is, but anyone know about this one? I'll say we'll leave it here. Mod appears. I don't know where to put this one. Be unavailable. We'll say. I don't even know. It's almost like we need a separate category. Excuse me. Because it's not decline. I can't decline or evaluate anything really that doesn't actually exist. Maybe I'll make another list over here for like. What do I even call this? We'll say mods. I say can't assess. And I'll worry about like the color or whatever later. Back online. Can't assess. Move. Boom, baby. That still counts. That still counts as one. So El Sopa is kind of a tricky one. These are good textures, but oh, there you go. El Sopa, without diving too much into it, because I'm really not the right person to ask about this stuff, but El Sopa's done some not so nice things, we'll say, over the course of, at least this is my understanding, right? That counts as 2. That's not fair. So we definitely say questionable El Sopa mod. We typically do not add these. Well, there's 2 then. Blowing in the wind. Oh, this one, I believe I added this myself. Where's my music? Oh, sorry. That's gonna be loud. Lower this down. That's too low. That's too loud for me. God, that's loud for me. Is that loud for you guys too? I have my own wheel. Okay. I swear that maybe I'll do it here. Blowing in. No, I guess just that one. Okay. Now, this mod I've had my eye on for a very long time. Or, like, is it this one? Or is it a different one? Cell immersion mod. Right. Is that so, Rust? Is it... Where is it? Where is the link to? That matters for us before you post it. Is there, let's see. Oh, on next, okay. Yeah, go for it. Okay. Blowing the wind light, movable lanterns, base object swapper. That's pretty cool. Blowing it uses base object swapper to make all lanterns move while the wind with 0 world space edits. Okay, this is rad. Classic mod. Has movable editing mesh files. Okay. This is brilliant. Candles movable. Also, this place on tables. It's replaced with hanging lanterns. Means it factor that lanterns are hanging on the table. Apply with something bow tie. It's the same swinging motion as that. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Okay, well. Now, my concern here, was there something like the performance? I remember being interested in this mod for like a very long time. I thought it was really rad. But I was worried that there's like a performance impact. I could be wrong about that. But, okay. Here's what I'll do. No, not you. Get on out of here. Say, needs further assessment because... Okay, let me check. Mob was removed as he used Quixel's assets without permission. Ah. You got the archive. Well, if that's the case... Okay. That's a problem. Here's what we'll do. Okay. Needs further assessment, but leaning proved. I very much like the effect, and there is apparently a base object swapper patch, which is... am I crazy? Here we go. As well, need to ensure the performance is solid. You could also potentially add as an ultra mode option. So ultra. And this would be, I guess, item and object visuals. Also kind of like environment visuals, but not really. Needs further assessment. Boom, baby. Yeah, stolen assets is a big red flag. I'm gonna put that... Say this one was apparently deleted because it finds Quixel's assets without permission. Leaving here in case. Let's see. Nexus archive link. Oops. Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. My heater's on. Just felt the heater kick in, and I am not feeling that right now. Cool, please. It's been very cold now. Well, cold by LA standards. It's our cold front, you know? Oops. Did I? No, we're good there, right? I'm pretty sure I finalized that. You get on out of here, all y'all. It gets updated with proper permissions and assets. I like this song. Ah, gotcha. I'm curious. Yeah. Bleh. Is it? Oh. Cold for us is 40, like about 40. Scroll right down. Ah. Whoops. Of course I can't click that. I don't know why I thought I would be able to. Let's zoom in. Oh, hover zoom works. Well, those look good, but also looks like they could be very performance intensive. Also, there's a problem here where it's like, I want to be able to pick these up because they look so good. You know what I mean? Okay, well, I can evaluate it now. Say questionable. Well, say we actually are able to... Yo, thank you so much, Rasputin. I very much appreciate it. Say we are actually able to use this. I am concerned about performance because the models look pretty high quality. There is also the issue whereby the large size branches and wooden debris look like they should be interactable, and they wouldn't be. Maybe we could tie it into the forage skill or ability Yeah, it's what you could do is this. Make the branches more likely to what do I say? Or make branches more forageable. Forageable. Go. In areas where this texture is present. That's a pretty good idea, I think, also for the rocks that are just around. Put this in. Okay, well, we got it. Assessing questionable. Thank you, Lizzie. Forageable. Dirigible. Volkahar Knight. Oh, did I evaluate this? That's pretty good. Campfire driftwood. Oh, cool, Lizzie. I'm gonna take a look at that. I mean, this looks pretty decent to me. I'd say approved. Yeah, okay. Here, let's say needs further. Yeah, as the kit bashed. Also, it looks like maybe some of the texture. Sometimes there's like HD textures that people have created. I like the design of this page though. Oh, look, cell shading retexture. Oh, wait, what? I was gonna say, I thought I recognized this one. Is this a duplicate then? Volkahar Knight. Not. Oh my god. Wait, am I gonna have to use the search? Why is Volkahar such a weird word? Knight. Are you, Lizzie, am I missing this somewhere? Oh, you're talking about the campfire debris? Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, needs further assessment. What does it do? I don't really remember exactly. Is it that you can... Well, that one is just like you can directly harvest the campfire driftwood or the driftwood. Needs further assessment because assets are kit bashed and I'm a little concerned about resolution. But the former is not a deal breaker, and this could be a full addition for the variety. Let's see here. I was going to check more. You're outfitted. Okay, no retextures as far as I can tell. Say item. New items. And I guess you could say this is like Dawn Guard related, but nah. Let's see here. That's fine. Needs further assessment. All right, how many is that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dragon Priest replica mass. Some players are some reason not satisfied. Oh, do we not have replicas anymore? I thought we had them already. Lizzie says 4. She knows because she gets emails, although she might be counting the one that you're not, Liam. Lizzie Crab Enchantable. Okay, same qualities as Dragon Scale Helmet, all the heavy armor versions. I'll say approved tentatively. I thought we had replicas in game already via CCR, but I could be wrong. We actually don't. We can totally use this mod. Actually, you know what? Or just build our own versions. Since we'll need to custom some variants for an army system anyway. Whichever makes the most sense. What is up with some of these songs? Nice. Okay. This is I guess you could call this new items. No, I didn't mean to put that there. Technically. Don't distract me. I only have 45 minutes. Actually, shit. I got... Well... okay, I got basically 30 minutes. So, hey, that'll help for the bets, but I'm gonna win. Don't... Not undermine me. What's the... Don't underestimate me. That's the word. Why can I not think of words today? Probably because I spent too much time talking in the beginning, and now I'm burnt out. Approved. The best was 12. WizKid Wells with WizKid. Yeah, WizKid unfortunately is another one of those, at least as I understand it. I hate to say things like this if I don't know for certain. The reason I said the El Sopa stuff is because I know that one's legit. The WizKid is like a little difficult. But I don't know if WizKid has said or done things that are kind of disqualifying. I'm not quite as aware of it. Opinions shared are our own. This is pretty cool. These are like ice on top. The models look a little strange to me. Oh, well, if that's the case... What? Oh. Well, here you go. This is... I mean, I love Wanking Skeever. Who's doing the work of integrating all these mods into the mod list? That would generally be me. Lizzie as well. In terms of like actual development work, it's Lizzie has built basically the entire upcoming Missives expansion. For the rest, we have mods from the team in there, but if it's not those two things or those various things, generally speaking, I do like the integration and that sort of stuff. Okay, well, I'm gonna say I kind of like these two. Are these like very well made mesh only solution? But really, we all kind of contribute one way or another. Animated water and wells and sewers. Yeah. I would say in the past like 6 months, the development contributions from the team have been gnarly. And the team, historically, what they do is there's some mods, some features. Like Lizzie basically is like her in 3D or basically our entire support team doing a million different things. Lizzie's also built out the entire wiki at this point. The two of them have. Okay, I'm struggling to... Okay, it's a mesh-only solution for animated water and wells and sewers. Okay. No ESP. I'm gonna say... questionable. I like the concept, but I might prefer Wanking Skeever's water and wells implementation. I will test both to be sure. Is water and wells on here? Say, I would call this environment visuals. And I guess technically survival, because if there's water in there that the game detects as water, then it would be a nice useful. Gotcha. Alright. Thanks, Lizzie. I try to keep things relatively, what's it called? Nice. But sometimes, unfortunately, people do things that are... It's like, I'm willing to put up with, you know... Modding, there's all kinds of personalities in modding. If people are, like, curmudgeon-y or whatever, like, that's not a deal breaker. If people are, like... My line exists at if people are discriminatory. That's like an instant see ya, right? Discriminatory, otherwise, just like gross, and I don't know. It's sometimes a soft line, other times very clear. Gotcha. Well, I'll look at the whatever you got. Questionable, and then do we have one for Wells? He's very disparaging about others' work. That's pretty shitty. Of course, I'll reserve judgment until I see, but I mean, this is not... You're not the only person, of course, to have said this. Add a new card. My brain is working at half speed. You guys might end up... I gotta beat 12. I'm gonna have to speed it up here. We're gonna do... Needs further assessment. Add card. It's gonna be water and wells. We'll go... This link... Lanking Skeevers. So mesh only solution for replacing wells. Actual water. Or I should say... Replacing actual water in wells. Say save needs further assessment only because this kid also has an offering that I should try alongside this. So I naturally lean towards Skeever because Skeever. What was the other one called? It was, dang it. What was it called? I already forgot. Oh, there it is. It was just up there the whole time. Come on. Wells with real water. There you go. Labels, environment, visuals, and survival. Excuse me. Path to Bulgar, vampires and skip Fort Dawnguard. Improve the immersiveness playing as a vampire. Excuse me. I had a burrito over there. This mod will improve the immersiveness. Vampire character can now start at Dawnguard storyline immediately. Ooh, interesting. You're a vampire. Ooh, I kind of like this. Yeah, that is pretty weird. Cool, alright. I love it. Say approved, assuming it doesn't cause any issues. Very much like the concept. Good point about how a vampire likely would not join a vampire faction without any reason. Unless they were like taking them down from the inside or whatever. Actually, I included that because I had a character who I wanted to do that with one time. I would like to keep that as an option. Also has stolen mods in his Discord. That's not good. So what I'm probably gonna do, how is it? Hop Pixu I'm gonna call you Hop. The point, Monica, is to make it so you don't have to technically join the Dawn Guard or even like answer their call before joining the Volkihar vampires instead. I think you still go to Serana. It said something about it. What did it say? You can go directly to Dim Hollow. I wonder if the vampires are still hostile to you. Say Dawnguard main quest. Anyway, sorry. The plan for our armor system is to have like an entirely separate way of treating, like ideally the armor designs from A Midianborn and the armor designs from what's it called, Nordwire, could coexist easily, because it's not just going to be like elven armor, orcish armor, like so on and so forth. You'll be able to make different styles of armors from different materials, right? Lime. This is quest expansions. Nice. It might have new writing technically, as like a letter. Boom. Bloodthirst. NPC vampires can also feed. This is interesting. Huh. This is interesting conceptually. I don't know if that's a good idea, Serana. Or if this is what you'd call immersive, because I feel like...
Where'd you come from?
You know, casual. Everyone's totally fine with that. Oh, several conditions were disabled for the demonstration. Oh, wow. I might have missed that. Okay. Say, this is an interesting concept. So here. Needs further evaluation for sure. And if the conditions... Let's see here. I'm going to switch over to... Castlevania. Rainy Night in the Castle. And if the conditions for vampires dynamically feeding are actually sensible, it could be a cool conclusion. But I also predict some wonky behavior. So we'll need to evaluate this closely. This we will call vampirism. We will call it dynamic world. What else do we call it? Seems like it would cover everything. Yeah, it very well could be. Needs further assessment. Nice. Teldrin Sirius. Teldrin Sero backstory. Oh, you know what I also need to do is say Bloodthirst. I need to mark this with LE. Legendary? Old room? What do I call it? I guess I gotta create a new label for this. LE mod. I don't see a, what's it called? Okay, we're good. Teldrin Sirius. Fully voiced quest. Okay, that we're gonna have to listen to.
But then, out of nowhere, a dark elf attacked.
Oh,
Crazy
spliced?
Law. You trying to get someone killed? I should bash your face in after all you've done.
It was a suicide mission.
I don't expect you to know what that means.
Well, guess what? I don't give a damn. That's what I like to hear.
Have you taken leave of your senses?
By Akatosh.
Well, spice
The
dialogue
smell
can
of
be good.
flesh
I mean, if
burned
you're
and pulled
Jay.
apart by magic.
Now that they've been dealt with, there's no time to lose.
Not this again.
It's not easy to do well, but if you do it well, I'd argue that it's preferable to the alternatives. Oh, there he is. It's fully spliced and done well, but I believe the author added some XVA synth in the latest versions. Ah. Well. Okay, thanks, Jake. I will keep that in mind. Let me write that in. I'll say further assessment. It looks promising, and the trailer features some well-spliced dialogue. But Jay said the latest versions add some synth, so that might be a concern. It can be. It's got to be really minimal in order to not stand out. Say labels climb. This is going to be not new follow, new quests, new writing, quest expansions, I guess you would say. Fully voiced, immersive quest line. Not compatible with True Spears. I wonder why. New dungeons, bosses, locations, weapons, and a new armor set. Okay. Say purple. New dungeons, lands, new items. Dialogue in the description. Ah, let's see. Thank you, Jay. Watch the walkthrough on YouTube. Say, if I search synth, if I go to posts. Oh, wow, 2017. If I search here, yeah, I love the idea as well. Oh, there's a mod that expands this expansion that does that? Say requirements, mods requiring this. Open Zero dialogue expansion. Ah. Is. Ooh. Gotcha. Okay, thank you for clarifying. It's so cool. Synthesized dialogue. Ow. Just got flashbanged. Listen to that Morrowind music.
It is heartrending that this Silt Strider may be the last of her kind.
That one wasn't horrible. I gotta turn it up more. You guys hear it?
I'm with you. Raven Rock was built with help from those East Empire Company bastards.
Oh no, that's not good.
Nowadays, it is a Dunmer settlement. However, it used to be Imperials and Nords. House Redoran took over sometime after the eruption of Red Mountain, and the Raven Rock mines saw the best of times.
Oh no, that's no thank you. It's an expansion here. Well, I'll remove. No, good. Now we can leave this. Just excitement. Means further assessment. Then I almost main one should be fine. Yeah, that is not ideal. Is there? Are we able to grab the old version? There's this one. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. They left it there. Both spark joy. The version without XVA synth. Okay. Do we have? I'll add this one too. This is. I know I'm adding versus evaluating, but might as well if we're here and we're thinking about it. Say, what's that one called? Eldrin Serious Wedding, and that's all we got for him, I think. All right. Get on out of here. Add card. Call it Eldrin Sero Dialogue Expansion. Gimme. There you go. Adds additional dialogue to everyone's favorite DLC2 companion. So it needs further assessment. The 1.0 version only utilizes spliced lines versus XVA synth and appears to be available, so this will be the version to use. Why is Undeath is missing? Because there was a lot to do to patch it, and like the state of the patches at the time that I was building 1.0 of Wildlander, they were not like as updated. As far as like quest and content mods go, I would say that Undeath has among the likeliest, pretty much the likeliest chance of being added back in. But it's also like so extensive, and also Wildlander is like a degree of polish, I would say, above Ultimate Skyrim, that it's not like a guaranteed inclusion. But as far as, like I said, like content mods go, I'd say it's likelier than anything else. To evaluate the lines themselves. Though Jay says he enjoys it. So already. Thanks for hanging out, Liam. Much appreciated. Oh, someone asked me about something Beyond Skyrim related earlier, and I completely missed it. Labels. Maybe here, I'll scroll up. I'll try and find it. Wow, it must have been a while ago. Is whoever asked it still here? I can't find it. Who can say? Well, we'll see. Ask again if you're still here. This would be new. Say writing. What was it? Sorry? This could have been the one that I'm thinking of. Writing, dialogue, VA. I think that's about it, right? Okay, cool. Oop. Lucian just got Beyond Skyrim. Oh. Yeah, it wasn't eventual plans to add their full release to Wild. This is both Wildland and Beyond Skyrim, similar to design. I mean, yeah, I would it's a lot of consideration when you're adding like a mod on that scale, right? But so I've never gotten to play Beyond Skyrim myself. I have seen people play it a little bit, some of them. It looks to be, you know, if not the absolute highest quality. Why does that look shorter? Absolute highest quality of content mods, certainly among it. So I would say that, you know, it's likelier. The problem is that scale, right? Basically, what Lizzie's saying is the biggest issue, I would guess. But, you know, since we're opening up the customization pipeline, if people help patch it, that would make it much more likely to be included. What's this one? More Teldrin Sero content. Ungeo, playing immersive lorefront request as 105. Wow, okay. Oh my god. Wow. Romance. All right. Okay. Oh, is it muted for you guys? Whoops. Oh, maybe it's just too low. Oh, sorry. Well, here. This is what it sounded like.
What are you?
I'll let it play
Are you serious?
while I update this.
Damn.
Sorry, I guess my volume was too low.
Look, I appreciate your company, but apologies.
Let's see.
Very well. I can hardly wait, if you know what I mean.
Boom.
You look like someone who appreciates.
Pretty good, right? Quest expansions, new quests, new writing, dialogue. I guess you'd say like marriage. Oh, do we not have I don't have a label for like marriage and family stuff. New label. Marriage and children. Wild. Yes, the patching helps a lot. That is what I'm looking forward to the most, I would say, from opening up the customization pipeline. It's also not guaranteed, of course. Assistant approved. Yes, they would have to be for Wildlander specifically. Especially with some of the stuff that we've got in the works, too. No, sorry, not approved. Needs further assessment. There we go. What? Immersive children, huh? Child mortality. Oh, this is... I used to use immersive children. Ooh, not just another killable children, past killable children, blah, 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 blah. They said blah, 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 blah. Okay. Give my cannibal some veal. Did I decide on a religion mod? Excuse me, Monica. The current plan is to fill out Iron Dusk's religion mod. Okay. What? So this is now. Is this a fix this furniture use? So we do most of this. If it had like additional AI changes, maybe. Oh, sure. Or does it change the visuals of the children as well? Yeah, I'm kind of... Immersion. Invisible children, not all immersive. Moral children are. Between Become a Bard and Skyrim's Got Talent. I do believe that we might have an integration of both. The animations, coffins, and adjust how they sit and stuff. And so what we already have is like killable children then, Lizzie? Okay. All right, well, I will say needs further assessment. It might be kind of a, say, kind of overkill to integrate this mod when we already have killable children, but mod does have some additional features that are cool, like restoring the animation, the child-specific animations for sitting, sleeping, etc. that are typically disabled by children mods, and it also gives children burial owns confidence, etc. The animations would be my big draw personally. Libels. This one would be, I guess you could say, but it's not really like a child mechanic so much as it is like, say bug fixing actually. And then we'll say animations, of course. I guess you could say like, I wouldn't call it AI either. Playing plus movement? What? Animal reactions? No way. Dude, Jay, that is so awesome. Yeah, I mean, so last I checked, I'm pretty sure we were gonna use both. I believe there's some mods that attempt to patch them. But either way, I mean, just from watching, because we watched the videos on Skyrim's Got Talent, and it was like an instant. Let's see what we where we landed. Needs further assessment. Say Skyrim. Oh, it's my suggestion. Wait a second. Oh, the patch is in there. It's approved. But I haven't approved this technically, but obviously it's supposed to be. Look at this, Jay. This mod from the wonderful Jay Serpa adds another way of working for gold, being a bard. You slowly improve as a musician the more you play and get debuffs or buffs depending on how skillful you are. Approved. We are able to integrate it, though I think the patches would be a big help, and I can't see any reasons why it wouldn't work. There we go. Approved. Say move, and then say jobs and professions. Say reactivity. This reactivity is a little bit different from these two. That's okay. Maybe I will put that on the other one. Gameplay mechanics. And I think that's about good for that. Make a mini patch on the conflicts that recommend changes. Oh, that's no problem. I mean, that's the patch we do in our sleep. Yeah, that as well. Child. Immersive children. Child. Reactivity, I would say. That fits. Oh, actually, wait. I think I've already added this. New gestures to children. Yep. I think so. Yep. Say approved. And this one's actually going to be in the next version. How about that? Boy, nope. Adding a next version. Animations. Nice. Actually, I changed my mind again about immersive. Wait a second. Oh, I thought it was raining. It's a plane flying overhead. Changed my mind. I'm waffling back and forth. Okay. That counts. That counts as one. Where am I at? What time is it? 2:48. Shit. Supreme Vampire Lords makes the wings bigger, which makes them look more complete. Also fixes a bug, leg clipping. A must-have for vampire lovers. This mod not only enlarges the wings of vampire lords. Interesting. Oh, it's I always want to say rogue shot, but it's rouge shot. Okay. Is there like a compatibility section? That's always like the issue. Can I see mod compatibility? There's been a skeleton, mod super machine skeletons, compatible those mods. Any texture, mesh mods. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Is there? Maybe I can go. Our top Skyrim. When's the last time Bro Jewel uploaded? Ah, that's loud.
It's been a
Sorry.
hectic few months for us, but we're back with a video intended to go up a few months ago.
Yeah,
With our
chat
top mods of
animation.
2019,
No,
better late than
armor,
never edition.
audio,
As with our top
character.
mods from previous years, we've only
City,
included new mods
combat.
released in the past year, not included ported mods. Also,
Follower,
as always, we've chosen at least
graphics,
one mod for each of our
immersion,
Skyrim mod
interface, magic,
categories, but for some we have multiple, just depending on what we liked from last year.
Shit.
And finally, if you think we missed anything, then let us know in the comments down below.
Character, maybe?
Their standing stones have to be one of the most mundane parts of building a character in Skyrim.
Andromeda.
You could skip them entirely, and you wouldn't notice anything was missing.
Oh, is it like one mod per section? Oh, cool. It's like a yeah, I mean, best of 2018.
With a particular
this here we go.
For dragons, this was to make it feel like their wings could realistically lift a fully grown dragon into the air.
Right, here we go.
This tweak might not seem like much, but it definitely makes dragons a more awe-inspiring sight.
What is it here?
Especially as they swoop down for the kill. Every deal at first, the marvel, as well as refresh to the arms of Lucian. As an imperial
Aosana, Lucian won best follower. This I love this idea of like a I mean, it's so difficult to do because there's so many mods that get published in like what if someone did like a Skyrim modding Emmys, right? Where it's like, or Golden Globes, where for each category you have like the top 5 of the year, and then I don't know, maybe people vote, or you decide, I guess, if you're the content creator, but that's a little spicier. That'd be hilarious. And you have like all the modders could show up as like VTubers dressed up. Now I'm getting way too intense with it. Where is the? I want to see. Whatever. I guess I can just look at the images. Give me image. Left side modded versus right side vanilla. That's smart. Yeah, the wings do look quite small. Let's say needs further assessment. I love the idea. Just need to make sure the new models integrate with, say, models skeletons integrate without issue. That the larger wings don't obscure the camera or whatevs. Nice. This would be, I guess, like creature visuals. Whoopsie. Definitely animations and skeleton. There we go. Needs further assessment. All right, where am I at, Lizzie? Can I get a count check here? Repel Rain, Magical Umbrella for Frostfall. Oh, this is cool. As long as it's like a sustained spell. Magical Warlock Umbrella, Conjurable Bubble of Air. So sick. Yeah, or like that's a good solution too, is Conjuration. Conjuration, or I mean, it's not like a sustained spell, but at least it's like it's almost like a timed buff. 16? What? Yo, all right, I'm already past the limit. 18, counting the 2. See, we're good. Counting the 2. Oh, we're counting the ones I added now too. We're feeling generous today. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take that W. Yeah, I would sing that if I won't disrespect Lady Rihanna that way with my poor imitation. This looks very cool. Well, we can watch the video. Rain 2.1. Why is this name familiar to me? I feel like I recently learned about some of this person's work. Immersive meditations on the... Oh, maybe this is what it was. Ah, sorry, that's loud. Wait, where is it? Oh. What'd you do? Again. Did you clear the rain? Rain repel. So it's like a clear skies shout. Manipulate. Wow, manipulate weather. You can create a machine to manipulate the weather with void salts. Wow. Imagine that plus like waterable crops. Fucking Dwemer weather machine. supervillains eat your heart out. Say needs further assessment because there are some additional features like a heckin' weather machine, which may be a bit more than we're what's the word? Be a bit much. Shit. But at the very least, I feel like these spells would be a fantastic addition, and is likely to be improved. There's at least. It's redundant. There we go. Say new powers. This would be weather. That's oh, not weather visuals. Sorry, I meant survival. Survival and needs, and say new items, I guess. There you go. Sick. We're gonna get to an even 20. How does that sound? So this will be 19. Needs further assessment. Allow Vampire Lord action. Useful mod that allows the Vampire Lord to loot corpses. Oh, yeah, okay. Most definitely. Isn't this... Don't we have this in something? Or do, like, the vampire... Like, maybe some of the vampire mods add this? I'm going to say needs further assessment. This person's recommended a couple of LE mods at this point. Does it work on... SE? Anyone saying? I thought some of the vampirism mods also included this feature. But if not, or if whatever we go with does not go with for vampirism, we can use this alongside. I'm guessing this user does not have a Skyrim. No, fortunately not. Boom. We did it, everybody. This, I would say, quality of life for sure. And also LE. Nice. All right. Well, I think, how many do we have? A fair amount in there. But slowly but surely, we are chipping away. I still have a lot in my category, but I have, I'm going to be traveling. I'm hoping to get some work done on the website and hopefully some of these as well. There was 48-ish. 48. Oh, in the user suggestions. Gotcha. Thank you, Lizzie. All right, y'all. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. I hope that you enjoyed yourself on the stream. I certainly did. I hope that the gigantic discussion that we had earlier gave you a clearer sense of what we're up to. And of course, I'm going to be working on that stuff. Yeah, please do, Daryl. It'll be great. I'm going to be working on this stuff. A lot of what I'm saying here is hopefully going to be evident from the work itself. But again, if you have any questions for me or the team or, suggestions, etc., you know where to find us. I really appreciate you guys hanging out for the stream, just supporting the project. And actually, I'm getting a little bit wistful in this moment because we really are coming up on like the 1-year anniversary of Wildlanders. We're going to have to do something special for that. I'll figure out kind of what to do about that. And it's just crazy to think that it's already been a year, and I'm really proud of this last year. I think that we've made a lot of strides, and we've gotten so much help from so many people that we cannot thank enough. And I don't know, I'm really excited to see where 2023 goes. So I won't be here next week, unfortunately, because I will be gone for Christmas, but I will be here the week after that. I think my voice just cracked. And, you know, just stay tuned. Announcements on Discord, my Twitter, assuming that, you know, Twitter's becoming a scary place to be, assuming I'm still going to be on Twitter. I would like to be. I really like it, but, you know, who's to say? It's getting wild up in there on their bird website. But I hope you guys have a safe weekend. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. I'm not going to see you before then. I hope you have a wonderful Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, any other holiday you might celebrate. And yeah, have a wonderful couple weeks and take care of yourselves. Tell your loved ones you love them. You guys know the drill. You don't need advice from me. You know what's up. Let's see who's on Twitch, shall we? Rating is honestly like one of the most fun parts of streaming, straight up. Do we have any no Skyrim people that I can see? We got lots of speedrunners. This is mostly who I follow. Oh, Janet is streaming. We got Ding Dong as well. That's I don't know if anyone knows Ding Dong. I like celebrate the holiday of getting very, very drunk. Me too. We actually are going to a party tonight. I don't know how drunk I'm going to get. I'm still trying to decide because we're going on a flight tomorrow. At least it's in the afternoon. That helps a lot, but I'm not trying to be hungover. I hate being hungover so very much. And it feels like not like this is a hot take, but it's hard to drink as you get older. Oh, thanks very much, Jay. I'm glad that you like it. Also, I love my loved ones. I love Wildlander. Have a nice Christmas. You too, Puffadder. Assuming you're born in 91, I'm also born in 91. 91 babies. What's up? I'm gonna raid Janet. This Gaming Unisis. If you guys don't know Janet, she used to work for IGN. She's now an independent games journalist and content creator who's really awesome. And her content is great. So feel free to give her a watch. She's playing Jack 2, and I believe that Jack and Daxter is like one of her favorite game series. This is gonna be probably a pretty fun stream to check it on. Did I spell that right? I think. I hope. Yes, we did it. Hell yeah. All right, y'all. And of course, keep your suggestions coming. I hope you guys enjoy the roadmap. I think it's going to be cool. We've worked very hard on it. And, you know, everything's iterative. So if we can do something better with it, feel free to let us know. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Again, take care of yourselves. Happy holidays. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Hi, VOD watchers.